The best sports radio in Utah is right here, right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, kicking off hour number 2 of the program. Again, if you're just new to the station today, or if you weren't paying attention yesterday, new lineup. Tim and I every day from 10 to 2, and then Ben and Jake coming up from 2 to 7 right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. That music threw me off. Almost said it. All right, Jay Stevens, kind enough to hang out with us. He is our hockey insider. And, Tim, one thing about Jay that you'll know, this dude he's like the John Wayne of this station. Like, the dude fights fires. He'll stop pucks. He'll break down hockey as better. He's forgotten more about hockey than we'll ever know. And an overall good dude, too. You and I were hanging out after game 1, doing a quick post-game wrap-up. Now that the dust is cleared a little bit, you've had a day or so to look back on that game. Anything change in your opinion? Anything else jump out at you?
No, not really. It's kind of weird to see. I broke down each goal that they scored. I went down, I think you know that I do this after every game. I went and I rewatched all the goals scored and all the goals against. And it's just these minor breakdowns. And for the people that were saying that, oh, well, Utah's second goal was a fluke, a lucky bounce. That's what a lot of the stuff is anyway. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if it turns into a goal or if it turns into a scoring opportunity. That's what you're looking for, are those lucky bounces. That's why the coaches tell you, throw pucks on net. Things are going to happen. So what I saw was, it's so crazy that Vegas's fourth line is scoring goals on Utah's first line. And, of course, there was the power play goal, which you don't get a -4 for anyway. But if you look at it and you see Keller and those guys -3, and then you see who got the Barbashev and Sissons getting goals, those are fourth-line guys. So that's where Utah's going to make some changes. That's where, like we were talking about, I just think Utah needs to do a better job. Their first goal was scored off of Utah Mammoth structure, and that's what we need to see more of, is that structure. It wasn't a crazy turnover. It wasn't a lucky bounce. It was Utah doing what got them there. So after I digested all of it, I actually felt a little bit better. I felt pretty good leaving, but when I digested all of it and I saw where the breakdowns were and stuff like that, I felt better than I did after the loss.
What are the biggest things that, and you said it, a couple of those plays, I mean, it was like a segment of the game that they really lost control, but what is the big thing they need to do tonight, that to keep this game close and have a chance to win tonight?
The one thing is to maintain their structure, to play Utah hockey. And, they talk all year about speed and how speed's going to help them, and their creativity and their deceptiveness with the puck, all those quick passes and no-look passes. They need to get back to that. They need to find the middle of the ice, because in the first period they had middle of the ice. Then Vegas just clogged it up and made the neutral zone muddy. They made the offensive zone really muddy for Utah. Utah needs to get back to that. And I think everybody would agree that Vegas is big and they're bruising people. And you look at them and you say, okay, Utah got a little. They didn't mind the physicality. They had 29 hits in the game, which is more than they've had in a game before. You saw Lawson Krause led the team with 9 hits. I know McBain's hurt. I know he fought to get back in the lineup. We need 9 hits out of him as well. We need those guys to be throwing hits, and then everybody else needs to skate away from the nonsense after the whistle. It's easy to say, but when a guy punches you in the face, you just got to turn around and skate away and not punch him back, because that's what gets called. It's going to be that retaliation. And so I think Utah needs to keep playing. They need to learn to play physical. They need to play the physical game, but then stay out of the nonsense after the whistle.
So when you are up against a team that's as big and strong, how do you use your size, or how do you use your speed and athleticism to combat that?
The best thing to do is, you got to match up line 3 and line 4 of Vegas against our line and line 2, like 1 and 2 for Utah. And you got to catch those defensemen, especially the bottom pairing defensemen. That's when you use the chip and chase or the dump and chase. You got to get that puck in deep, get those defensemen from standing still to having to skate backwards or chase you. Use your speed to enter the zone and make those big guys have to be agile too. That's where big usually is used against you, right? Big is not typically fast as well, but you got to use your speed. You got to hit them at the blue line. You got to hit them fast. And if it's their first pairing of defensemen, they're not going to have any problems with that. They've proven, I'm looking at their first pairing of defensemen, it's McNabb and Theodore, and Noah Hannafin's on their second line, or their second pairing. So those guys are going to be just fine. Don't try the chip and chase on them. You're going to have to beat those guys with speed, enter the zone the way they've been entering the zone all year, and that's with Keller trying to break up. He does that Gretzky curl like we talked about. He got hammered a few times doing that Gretzky curl, so he's got to make sure that second forward's not there. But use that against the first two guys, but look for that other pairing of D to be out there. Chip it on them, chase them, make them turn around, put pressure on them right away with a 2-1-2 forecheck, and keep pressure, create turnovers, and then throw pucks to the net and create chaos.
Clearing the puck seemed to be an issue the other night. I mean, you speak to the physicality.
Yeah.
But when they were able, Veggie was able to get it going, the speed was apparent, know, when they were able to get that thing cleared and get out. But is that just indicative of the size that they're dealing with and the physicality of Vegas to not be able to clear the puck easily?
Yeah, and that's Vegas being a little bit more experienced too, because when you are in playoff hockey, you cannot give anybody time and space. So that's what was happening to our forwards and our defense. Our breakouts start with the defending players from the Mammoth. They have to quarterback it, which means they have to get the puck and look up and have a little bit of time and space to make a decision. But what really has to happen is you have to know that decision prior to getting the puck. And that's something we teach from 8U all the way up. But you saw in that game, guys would get the puck, look up, and there'd be guys on them right away. They'd have defenders on them. So you gotta know what you're gonna do with the puck before you get it, and it has to be just lightning fast. That's why they went out and got Weegar. That's his specialty, and that's Ian Cole. Those guys are two of the best at it. Marino's another one. Those guys make decisions before they get the puck, and it's gone. And a guy like Ian Cole, he knows when to also just swallow the puck in the corner, take a hit, and wait for something else to happen. You saw that happen a couple times where his pass was gone. By the time he got the puck, Vegas had shifted and taken all the passing lanes. So rather than create a turnover, he just ate it, and he took some big hits just eating the pucks in the corners. But sometimes that's what you got to do.
Jay Stevens joining us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, breaking down game number 2 as the Mammoth take on the Golden Knights. The moment didn't feel too big for the Mammoth in this game. That was something I was concerned about. You can point to the little mistakes that were made here and there, but it never felt like that is like, okay, yeah, the moment's too big for these guys. I never got that impression.
No, and like we were talking about the other night on the post game show, I don't think that looked like a 1 versus 8 or the Pacific Division leader playing the first wild card. To me, that looked like a 4 versus 5. It was two teams that were equally matched that obviously had some offensive ability. That's how they made the playoffs. But yeah, Utah came right out, and one of the first things I said, their key to the game, they had to start on time and not be caught up in the lights and the glamour, and they weren't. They had a shot at like 5:56 on Carter Hart that hit Carter Hart and almost fell through his 7-hole, and he was battling for that right away, and that just gave me the idea that I think Vegas, especially Carter Hart, was feeling it, like the pressure, more than Utah. Utah's not favored to win. Nobody expected him to be here. Some people don't even know who the Utah Mammoth are. So there's no pressure on these guys right now, and they got to remember that. They got to play like that. But you're right. They looked like they belonged, and they weren't caught up. Like I keep joking around about. They're not there to pick up a gift bag and go home. They're there. They belong there.
And Bear commented on that. He liked their mindset right out of the gate and said that was one of the things they were locked in mentally. Who has to have a big game tonight? If you were to, one player, and it doesn't have to be an offensive player or a defensive player, but what player needs to have a big night tonight?
It's gotta fall to Keller to create some offensive opportunities. He was having a really hard time getting his passes through. Vegas definitely had him in their plans. I think he was the number one list on their things of how to shut down this team is get into Keller's space. So Keller would be my number 1, and then number 2, I want a little bit more out of Veggie. I know he didn't give up bad goals. I think maybe the first goal there was some weird, it went under his pad before it was in the back and then went in. I want to see Veggie just a little more solid on rebound control. So to me, those are the two that really need to take over tonight. You pay those guys a ton of money, and if Veggie's going to be your number 1 goaltender, he has to steal a game. And we all know on these playoffs, You start 2 on the road. You got to win one of them. That's the goal. Win one. They almost won one. Now it's time to actually win one and bring it back. That takes a lot of pressure off them. So need to see Keller's offense. We need to see him perform better. And then I'd like to see one more save out of Veggie. I'd like to see him finish the night at a 92, 93% save average.
So I want to circle back on forechecking a little bit. Lloyd and I were talking about that before. And in case you're unaware what that is, it's like full court press in basketball. Like, you're pressing the ball as they bring it down. Now, there's 2 different philosophies there. Number one, you just want to disrupt the offense. You're not necessarily looking for turnovers, but you just want to get guys out of their rhythm and really force kind of a chaotic moment on the offense. And then there's other times where you are trying to create turnovers or icing or just really put them behind the 8 ball in that regard. But on the flip side, you can give up fast break opportunities if you're not in a great spot. So where's the balance on that?
Well, you have to go with the system that works best with your team's skill set. It's kind of naive to think you're just, as a coach, when you come in, you're like, I'm going to run this is what I like to coach. You have to go with what your team is good at. And with Utah, they always run that 2-1-2, which is they're trying to create the turnover in the offensive zone. So you can tell if they're running the other way where they're just creating some disruption and buying time and resetting the clock a little bit, you'll see one guy go in, but he won't make contact. He'll just kind of fly at the puck carrier and make him make a move, and that's all he was trying to do. But Utah runs a 2-1-2, so you'll see one forward come in and engage on the puck right away. So that's F1 engages on the puck right away, and then F2 is high support you're always between the net and the puck, but you're coming in high to try to. The guy that first pressure was on has to make some kind of a pass, right? You cut that lane, and that's where you get your turnover. Or if you're Schmaltz, you can get that. He's so good at creating a turnover just by, a stick lift and when he's F1 on that first puck. So you have to have the speed, because if you try to create turnovers, you're right. You're going to give up odd man rushes all day if you don't create some kind of chaos in the offensive zone. It becomes an odd man break. And you used to see that a lot with New Jersey. When they were winning cups, they would gamble, and they would have that. Then they run the neutral zone trap, but then they had Martin Brodeur in the back just stopping every breakaway or every odd man rush, so they had nothing to lose.
It's like having Rudy Gobert at the paint. You can take chances on the outside, knowing that the big man's got you covered at the rim.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. You've got somebody in there that is going to. It's your true last line of defense, and most time goalies are good for they're 50-60% on breakaways, and it goes lower on odd man rushes if they're getting that backdoor pass. Martin Brodeur was breaking records with that. Patrick Waugh, you've seen it lately with Shesterkin and some of these other goalies that just, it doesn't matter where the shot comes from. Veggie's getting there. He's made some really good backdoor saves. But yeah, it's dangerous to have a forecheck that doesn't produce something in the offensive zone and ends up with. But Utah's got the speed. They catch up.
I want to go back one thing on you said on Veggie, just to clarify. You said be better on the rebound.
Yeah.
Explain how what goes into that.
So, and it's tough because the rebound on the power play, he had a screen in front, and your goal as a goaltender is to save the first shot. And that's before in my generation, we were like, hey, I made the first save. The defender's not supposed to allow a second shot. Well, that's just not how it works anymore. Your defenders are going to keep guys tied up, but goalies got to be better at absorbing. So typically if a shot is anywhere above the leg pads, goaltenders know how to absorb those pucks. You'll see them just cradle them in or catch them or trap them on their blocker. But I saw Veggie was kind of, and Carter Hart was also fighting it a little bit, but Veggie was letting some drift off. And he made a couple big ones that I think was more of a statement for him. He made a big glove save. He grabbed it and he slammed it down on the ice when he's in the butterfly. And I think that was more for him than for anybody. Like, man, I got it, and I controlled the rebound. Because Vegas put a ton of traffic in front of him. He was having a hard time seeing it. So a lot of times you're just playing where you think the shot is coming from, because you have a guy like Mark Stone who parks his butt cheeks right in front of your face. You can't see anything about, and you're looking around a 6'4", 220-pound forward, and you can't see anything. So you go to where you think the puck's going from, you sit tight on that person, and then you make the save. And it's hard to control the rebound when you don't know when and where the shot's going to hit you. But NHL goalies do hard things, so I would like to see him absorb some of those pucks. And but yeah, that's the thing.
Cool. Okay.
How do you get that guy? We talk about moving guys out of the paint.
Yeah.
in basketball. How do you get that guy out of the crease?
Watch what Ian Cole does. He puts his elbow right in the back, right in the small of those guys' backs. He pushes. He uses a stick as a lever to push guys out, and that's to the defenseman. They've got to clear that spot. And the goalie will let them know. There's a lot of times guys can be in front of you, and you're not worried about it. They're not screening it, but then you'll hear the goalie yell, screen, or let me see it. Or he'll even call the defenseman and be like, Cole, like, you want this guy moved. And then the defenseman just comes and, assaults that guy, but keeps it on the level. And that's the one thing, that the higher you go in the levels of hockey, like when I was playing minors, like it gets crazy physical. And then you go up another level and you're like, it's even more physical here. And you're in the NHL and it's just a cage brawl. So that's the price you have to pay to be in front of the net.
Have we talked about Shoresy?
I think we talked a little bit about Shoresy.
Yeah, you're a fan, right?
I am a fan.
Yeah, is that pretty accurate in terms of what that middle of nowhere hockey league is
100%.
like?
Yeah, 100%. And they even have that in Alaska, and they made Mystery Alaska after that.
Yeah.
They have that same. It's the senior men's league. We have a former Utah Grizzly who went on to play for the New York Islanders, Mike Mole. He's in that league, and he's a cop. I think he's 45 or something, and he's still living the dream like Shoresy.
I love it.
And those guys, yeah, it's awesome, and that's real, and it's fun, and they talk that way, they act that way. It's its own culture.
That?
I have not. I need to see that.
Yeah, you would love that.
Yeah, I've had a little busy run.
No, I know. You've had a lot on your plate.
Between now and the beginning of next season, I will watch. You got 8 seasons of Letterkenny first, and then and Shoresy's the spinoff. So then I think you got 7 seasons of that.
Yeah, I've never watched Letterkenny. I just started with Shoresy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they're awesome. They're awesome. And Shoresy, they did a really good job with Shoresy. In Letterkenny, he was not a likable person, and then as they evolved him into who he was, it was. Yeah, what a great job they did with that.
I asked Bill Armstrong, and he's like, I don't have time to watch this. I was a little bit bummed out. He had not seen that.
That's because he lived it, and I bet he did see it. He's just not going to tell you.
Oh, okay, yeah, he does. It's like front office guys in golfing. They don't want you to think they're out there, but they're out there.
I haven't played in 2 years.
Yeah, I'm still rocking that 4 handicap, but yeah. Hey, appreciate it, man. Great stuff as always.
Thank you.
There he is, Jay Stevens, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This year, experience the NHL playoffs your way. Want to watch a single? Do or Die Game 7, a full week of heavy-hitting back-and-forth series. Then check out Sling's 1, 3, and 7-day passes. Watch the Chase for the Cup on ESPN and TNT, starting as low as $4.99. No long-term contracts or overpaying. Just live hockey at home or when you want it. Sling lets you do that. Visit sling.com to learn more.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
It is your good, it is your bad, it is your ugly. Scott Garrard hanging out with Tim LaComb right here on the Zone. We do it every day from 10 to 2. So I know normally people have had their watch set for 1:30. For good, bad, the ugly. No. It's now 11:30. All right, so we mentioned this earlier in the show. The Jazz have won the coin flip. They stay at the number 4 spot going into the draft lottery, which all that really means is that there is no way that the Jazz will give that pick to Oklahoma City. If the worst happens and 4 teams leapfrog the Utah Jazz, which is the most that could possibly happen, the Jazz will fall to 8 but still hold on to that pick. So no worries, folks. Everything's going to be okay.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yes.
And the long, overdrawn rebuild has come to an end.
Yes. Whether or not this team will be a playoff team, you and I both think they will, but just know that the goals are a little different going into next season than what they have been the last couple of years.
Just win, baby.
Just win.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
Thank you. I looked at you and I said it.
I know.
Hopefully it just works a little bit better here than where they say that all the time.
Okay.
Because their commitment to mediocrity is reigning supreme.
Commitment to excellence, Scotty.
The whole thing would change if he would get a decent
We're getting
haircut.
back there.
I'm serious.
He just needs a better haircut.
Not you, Lloyd. We had this
No. We know.
Your guy, Mark.
Mark Davis. Yeah, he needs a better haircut.
Mark needs to sell the team is what he needs to do.
This is true.
That would help, too.
Although I would really prefer that he not. Just hold on to it.
No worry. He's making
fact-
the right moves right now. So, yes, he
In
will
fact,
probably be
if there's
selling.
anything he should be doing, it's more personnel moves. I think he needs to
I
be more
disagree.
hands-on with
More
the organization.
involved in-
I
Yes.
disagree.
Yeah.
And even blocking schemes. He has
Oh, yeah, for sure.
just
Yeah.
as deep as he wants to go.
Yeah. All right, there's your good. Let's get to the bad.
Now the bad.
Well, sooner or later, he was going to have to get up to a podium and have a chat with the media, and that happened today. Mike Vrabel, head coach of the New England Patriots, of course, he and the athletic reporter, Rossini, what's her first name? Was it Diana?
Diana
Rossini, were seen holding hands and hugging and in a pool together at a resort, and, of course, the pictures were released. Rossini stepped down from the Athletic, did not admit any guilt, but said just in hopes of her personal life, she is, and being a distraction, she is going to step down. Mike Vrabel, though, this is the first time he has had a chance to talk to the media, and here's what he had to say.
I understand I could have addressed you guys sooner, but it was important to me to have a conversation with the players, which I did yesterday, very candidly, as we began our off-season program. It was never my intention to have them speak to you or address you before I did. And so with that being said, I've had some difficult conversations with people that I care about, with my family, the organization, the coaches, the players. Those have been positive and productive. We believe in order to be successful on and off the field, you have to make good decisions. That includes me, that starts with me. We never want our actions to negatively affect the team. We never want to be the cause of a distraction. Those are comments and questions that I've answered for the team and with the team. We'll keep those private and to ourselves. Care deeply about this football team and excited to coach them.
You know what? It's the best way to handle it. Honestly, it's the best way to handle it. Not like don't say these are lies. Don't say any. Just be like, you know what? We've had some hard conversations around here. Accountability is important. I put myself at the top of that. I need to be more accountable. I've had hard conversations with my team, with our coaches, with my family, and those conversations are going to stay private, and that's where it ends.
You don't even need to say you did it.
Like-
'Cause trust me, everybody knows what you did.
I mean, if you're a reporter, like Lloyd, if you're in that scrum, what's your follow-up to that? Like, there's really nothing you can follow up on that.
You know what? You pretty much admitted it. That's all I needed to know.
He pretty much neutered any follow-up. Like, that's a PR dream right there.
Coach, can I get a follow-up? How many dates have you been,
Yeah, like
How difficult was this conversation?
Yeah.
If you dare try to follow up, you're going to get the business.
Yeah.
So,
You become the dirtbag if you have to
Exactly.
follow up
there
on
were
that.
no follow-ups to that.
Because he's vulnerable. He's like, look, you know what? He didn't say stuff happened, but stuff happened. And frankly, it's really never any of our business anyway. But the only reason it became somewhat of a public issue is that she's a NFL reporter and he's an NFL coach, and she's broken a lot of stories. And the question is like, okay, is this ethically right? And, I let people who have far more bigger soapboxes to stand on than I do make that decision. But it's an interesting situation for sure.
Certainly not good. Definitely bad.
Not good, Bob. Not good. All right. There's your good, or there's your bad. Let's get to the ugly.
And of course, the ugly.
Good, the bad, the ugly right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, I only say this because I made a joke with Bronco the other day. And yes, Bronco can joke around a little bit. And
do you have video proof?
There might be video proof of this. This wasn't in our one-on-one conversation that we had yesterday. This was at the media scrum after his spring showcase. And he was one of the guys were putting a wireless mic on him, and then another guy put a wireless mic, and he goes, "I'll never get used to this. This is not fun. I do not enjoy this." And I said, "And if you do, that means you're now a member of the media." And he looks at me, he's like, "That will never ever happen." Like his look at disgust of me for even implying that he would ever work in the media was just like, how dare you? Well, for some coaches, they do that. They cross that line and become members of the media. And Mike Tomlin is now your newest NBC Sunday night pregame host on Football Night in America. All right, so we talked to coaches who have successfully made the transition from coaching to the media. Any advice for our guy Tomlin?
I would talk to Rex Ryan. I think he's been terrific. I think he's landed on his feet.
I think he's done all right. I think he took one step at a time and put one foot forward and really
put one foot in front of the other.
And soon he was walking out the door.
He was.
Yeah.
I don't really want to deal with this if that's what we're going to do.
Well, I didn't know. Why is that ugly?
Well, it's ugly because coaches hate the media. And they're very – see, this is the thing. And when I say this, I'm broad brushing, and I apologize to you or other people in the coaching industry that don't think this way. But there are coaches out there that talk about you members of the media, blah, 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 media. And then they're like – and then some media company says, hey, we're going to give you $10 million to come on our show. And they're like, where do I sign? It's
by the way, this used to be Tim.
No, I never said that.
Tim was always.
I was always
good.
media friendly.
Yes. Lloyd.
That's debatable.
See, I'm sorry. That's why it's ugly.
By the way, do you think Tomlin's going to be? I don't see him being. I don't know if he'll be good.
I don't think he'll be good
He
because
doesn't have the personality.
I think he's got the personality, but he's not going to let it shine. He's not going to let it show. Like I guarantee, Mike Tomlin, the behind-the-scenes coach at Pittsburgh, would be phenomenal on TV. But he's going to be very careful because I think deep down he probably wants to get back into coaching.
There you go.
So he's not gonna go scorched earth on anybody. He's going to be very vanilla. He'll just throw out a bunch of coaching cliches. He's not going. You're right. He's not going to be good because I don't think he's willing to show the personality that it's going to be that's going to take to be successful.
And that's probably more so what I meant. Like I don't think you'll get to see that side of him because he doesn't let that onto the media.
Yeah. So, but for all those coaches out there that say you'll never be a member of the media. Guess what? We all have a price.
The check may be written.
Yes, and when that check clears, you're like, okay, I think I can do this. I mean, if you can make nearly, I'm sure they're going to pay him probably in the $5 to $8 million range, which is probably not as much as he was making it as a head coach, but not far off. And you're not working those 100-hour weeks. You're not breaking down film. You're not, making sure your guy's not making the news cycle instead of the sports page. And so. A lot of these coaches are like, you know what? This doesn't suck. I could get used to this.
Saban, he leaned into commercials. He's not. He's a guy I didn't think would be great, but he knows he's so far down the road. He can just be who he is, and
now he's making Aflac commercials with Prime.
He's all over the place. Deion's. We're going to see less of him. I think. I don't know. He was in there for a while with him, but they just not win.
Don't do it, Lloyd. Don't do it. I know where you're going.
You don't even know where I was going.
I knew exactly where you were going.
Going?
Where we started this segment with.
Okay.
That's where you were going, huh? Yeah, I know. I've been around you a bit.
See, I miss some of this nuance being a new guy, but we'll figure it out.
See, you'll get it figured out here pretty quick.
He knows. It is where we started.
Yeah,
yes.
I know.
There was never mind.
Yeah, don't do it.
Too soon.
Yep, too soon. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up a little bit later on, you just heard from Jay Stevens talking a little hockey. By the way, we've got a big game coming up here at 1 o'clock. Xavier Gozo from Real Salt Lake will join us. We'll chat with him as some guy named Messi showing up and coming to town. That game coming up tomorrow. Also, one of our favorites, Kurt Heelan from NBC Sports and ProBasketballTalk.com will join us next. This is will join us coming up at 12:05 right here on The Zone.
Catch the NBA playoffs on Sling TV, the most flexible live TV streaming service, putting consumers in control to watch games their way with flexible subscriptions. Want to catch one game or a full series on ESPN? Grab a 1, 3, or 7-day pass. If you want to catch as many games as possible, get a monthly subscription with our ABC, NBC, and ESPN combo package. Either way, Sling lets you watch the playoffs your way with no long-term contracts. Learn more at sling.com.
This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar. Optimize your body and mind with IQ Bar's clean, functional products. Have you ever said to yourself, I don't even have time to eat? Girl, you need to throw an IQ Bar plant protein bar in your purse. Yes, we know you're busy. We all are. We're women. But it's beyond time to stop sacrificing your nutrition, your wellness, and your peace of mind. Try IQ Bar. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. Or try our delicious IQ bar sampler pack with 9 plant protein bars, 8 hydration mixes, and 4 mushroom coffee sticks. So clean, so delicious. You don't even have to think about it. Go to IQbar.com today and enter promo code BRAINIQ to get an exclusive offer just for our listeners. 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. That's IQBAR.com, promo code BRAINIQ. IQbar.com, code BRAINIQ.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb.
Now I know y'all are tripping.
Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, make sure to join us coming up tomorrow. We will be live at Tim Daly Mazda, 10 to 2. Tim Daly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Automall Drive. Really easy. Just take that 106 South exit. See the massive Mammoth complex there. Were you working down there, or were you still at the old campus?
No, I was working at Southtown, but on the back end where the Forever 21, they basically just made that all offices. But I have been in the new facility. It's incredible.
I know.
Man.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Like, that's one thing you talk about recruiting. Every single one of those teams that comes through town and uses it, they're like, this is pretty nice.
There's a reason why they're sending all them down there to use that practice facility. It's
You're absolutely right.
Hey, by the way, do you see anything like this in Calgary? Oh, no? Oh, well, guess what? We have that. Oh, you don't have one of these in Winnipeg? Okay, well, we do.
And they spared no expense. They were really forward-thinking in the uses of it. And, the other cool part is the community goes in there and uses it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, learn to skate programs and leagues that, you know, all the way up to, like, I'm sure Jay goes over there and plays. Right?
You know, the what I think was, I don't know if you've read the story coming out of Portland and the new owner there.
Oh, yeah.
But I think people need to realize how good they have it when you have an ownership groups first like the Millers, and then now like Ryan Smith, and I would say the Millers with RSL as well. Like, wherever we have had professional teams, they've really been ran by good, solid ownership groups that know how to invest properly in their players and their fans, and know how to make the experience really great. You go to a Bees game, you're treated like gold as a fan, and the players are treated like well. You go to that massive facility, and the Mammoth and the Jazz are treated like gold. Fans are treated with a great playoff experience. This guy in Portland, he's not taking two-way players on allowing them to travel with the team. The masseuse had to shut her room down at noon, and so players couldn't get a masseuse before the game. They didn't provide T-shirts to the fans before the game. Like, he's like, and he's being honest. He's like, no, I'm not paying for it. Here's a billionaire taking over a team, and he's like, no, we're cutting that cost. We're just slashing everything. That's not the best way to ingratiate yourself with a fan base.
No, and you're right. We are fortunate. I mean, the Millers for so long just kind of set the standard.
Yeah.
Right, of professional sports here, and then the Smiths have been amazing. And one thing they do understand is that you can go out and flippantly spend money, but if you spend money on the community and you get a big bang out of that, just because the community obviously becomes more affable to what you have, but they lean in. That's the one thing I learned being there. Every week there are sign-up sheets for community involvement, for volunteering, for going out and helping organizations. So, they not only spend the money, but they're really great about making sure where that's going.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've worked with the Miller organization. I've worked at SEG. I've been with both those organizations. And, look, every place you go to, they've all got their warts. Make no mistake. There's not a perfect place in terms of everything, but you want to go and work for a place or have a place that represents you as a fan base that genuinely has their heart in the right place. And I can 1000% say yes, that is the case with both those groups.
Yeah. So when Mammoth, I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of things in the seats for
Oh yeah,
the playoffs here. That's going to be a whole new level. I can't wait.
I would say this: if I were a member of anybody that's playing the Trailblazers in the playoffs, I would have 2 sets of shirts for my home team, and then I would just ship off shirts to the visiting team.
Just say, wear ours.
Guess what? We got shirts for you. We got you covered.
Come down behind the bench. We'll give you one.
We'll give you one. It's all good. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.